Namaskar, hello and good afternoon everyone. I'm Tanvi Khurana and I'm your host for today. On behalf of Central Institute of Educational Technology, National Council of Educational Research and Training, that is CIET NCERT, along with Adobe India, I warmly welcome all the educators on this 10th training session of this pilot program, Unleash Creativity with Adobe Express, titled Working with PDFs and Using the Gen AI Assistant. I warmly welcome once again to all the teachers, teacher educators and school leaders from the states of Delhi, Haryana, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, Assam and Gujarat joining us today. You are watching us live at this moment on our YouTube channel, that is NCERT Events. And if you have any questions, any queries, you can write it down in the live chat box and we'll be taking up your questions towards the end of the program for sure. Apart from this, you are also watching us on our eVidya channel number 14. With the advent of digital tools and platforms, the NCERT and National Education Policy, that is NEP 2020, emphasize the need to integrate technology into educational practices to enhance accessibility, engagement and effectiveness. This makes learning easier and more fun. Students can find a lot of helpful stuff online and they can work with students from different places and enjoy this learning process a lot more. Through this synergistic combination of technology and creativity-focused pedagogies, NCERT CIET, in collaboration with Adobe India, has designed this particular program which aims to cultivate innovation, creativity and digital empowerment among the educators. So let's have a look at the video where we introduce you with this program. NCERT, in collaboration with Adobe India, presents a pioneering online training program. Discover the power of Adobe Express and Adobe Acrobat with AI Assistant to bring digital creativity and AI skills into the classroom. Starting from 6th of June till the end of July, join us every Tuesday and Thursday from 3:30 to 5 p.m. Tune in to the NCERT Events YouTube channel and be a part of the future of education. Welcome back. As you have just seen in the video that this program officially kicked off on Monday, 3rd of June. And over the course of next 2 months, that is beginning from June of 3rd till 31st of July, we'll be running this 20-hour program to all of you. It's divided into 2 parts. Let me just explain. The first part is a mandatory segment for all the teachers regardless of your subject. And the second part, specialized techniques for integrating subjects into the curriculum, is based upon. And the sessions will be followed by assignments after each technical session, which the educators or you would have to complete using your Adobe Express education accounts. Additionally, participants will engage in online quizzes during the training sessions to assess their understanding. Now, let's have a look at the schedule with the help of these images. And now, let's get ready to dive into the real game changer, that is the AI assistant, the Acrobat Artificial Intelligence Assistant. Joining us today, we have 2 experts with me along with we have in our studio, let me please introduce the 2 guests to all of you. We have with us Ms. Jasmeet Kaur Kang and we have Ms. Harshita Jha. Ma'am, a very warm welcome to both of you.
Thank you so much.
So both of the experts are from Adobe India and together we are going to learn how to use the Acrobat AI Assistant as your personal digital helper. Let me just introduce both the experts to all of you once again. We have Ms. Jasmeet Kaur Kang, an education evangelist with Adobe India. She leads K-12 professional development activities and thought leadership for Adobe Express to build a community Community of Adobe Creative Educators in India. And along with Ms. Kang, we have Ms. Harshita Jha. She's a project manager. She's a product manager and with Adobe India, who will co-lead today's training session on the Acrobat AI Assistant. As a key member of the Acrobat team, Ms. Jha brings experience in developing innovative solutions that enhance the user experience. Her insights will be invaluable as we explore the AI assistant's capability and benefits for teachers. So once again, I welcome both the experts once again to our studio.
Thank you.
So Harshita ma'am, shall we begin the session?
Sure, please. Thank you, Tanvi, for such a wonderful introduction. Hello, everyone. Jasmeet and I today will give a walkthrough of Adobe Acrobat and the GenAI Assistant. And during the course of the session, we'll see how it can help boost the productivity of our educators, right? Now, before we dive into the session, just a quick introduction. I'm sure most of us have used PDFs, and if not used, then at least heard of PDFs, right? Adobe had created the PDF file format more than 30 years ago in 1993, and the idea behind it was that everybody should be able to read or view high quality documents across devices, across platforms, and across the kind of users that they are. Now today, PDFs are everywhere with millions of users opening them daily, and Acrobat helps you to view, create, edit, and securely share these documents, making it an important tool in today's digital world. We now also bring the Acrobat AI Assistant, and the AI Assistant will be your digital assistant, helping you from creating lesson plans to worksheets and quizzes and understanding other teaching material, making the process easier. As an educator, you can ask the AI assistant different kinds of questions, and the AI assistant will help you by giving the answers directly. Now, to ensure that the information provided is reliable, we have limited the scope of the AI assistant to just that particular document or the set of documents that you are working with. Along with this, we have also given a method so that the AI assistant can reference the source of any insight or any answer that it is sharing. Thus, in this way, the information that you get will be authentic. Now, before we proceed further with the session, let's see how we as educators feel about the teaching practices of today. Jasmeet.
All right, so for today's session, we have a Mentimeter for you all. I'm sure you're all now well versed with the tool of how to use the Mentimeter, right? So for today, I have some questions that I will be displaying on my screen, and using just scanning this QR code, you are able to answer us, and we will see the live answers in here. So my first question to all of you would be, have you heard about Acrobat or Reader? If you have, give us a yes. If not, then give us a no, so that we know that our audience today knows about the Acrobat or about the Reader, and they have heard about it or not. So again, as Harshita mentioned, that we are going to talk a lot about Acrobat today and how it is going to help. The GenAI tool is going to help also the educators. In our second part of the session, we are also going to talk about how Adobe Express also helps teachers in the PDFs, right? So that is something that we are going to explore. But before we explore that, we want to know your understanding of the product. We want to know if you have heard about it, so that we get a glimpse of, or we get an insight on if you have heard about this term or not. And as I can see, there are so many people who are answering us live right now, and we can see that some people have, most of you have answered yes, and some of you have said no. Thank you for sending in your responses. I do have a follow-up question for all of you, which is my second question for today, and I'm just going to jump to that, which is, do you find it challenging to manage and summarize large volumes of teaching material? So I'm sure as educators, every day we use so many teaching materials, teaching and learning materials, right? So now you need to tell us that if you find that challenging and if you find it really hard to summarize your large volumes of teaching material, we are here to help you out today with that particular thing, and we are sure by the end of the session you will learn so many options and so many great ways to actually just make sure that everything is becoming more easier for you with the help of one Adobe Express and of course the Acrobat AI assistant. And now, as I can see, Harshita, we see that there are about 11 people who are saying yes to it and one person says no. So I think that most of them are inclined towards that they find it challenging and hard to summarize large volumes. So I think it's the right time that we pick on and we start with our session straight away so that we can help our teachers, educators to sort of go through the whatever tools we have to sort of explain them today, and we make sure that their work becomes easier, right? So let's just take a deep dive into that. And with that, I think let's start. Harshita, would you like to take us through the sign-in process?
Would you not want to talk about the welcome kit first?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much for reminding that. So we also have a welcome kit that we have shared with our audience, and in that welcome kit you have information about everything that you need to know about this program that we are running. And the welcome kit looks something like this. I'm sure for you all, whoever has already gone through the welcome kit knows that there are some changes we have done because we are into our last I would say session for the section A today, as Tanvi mentioned. So we are into our last session today, and after this we start the section B, which will be focused more on your subject areas. So in this welcome kit, you see you have your program details, you also have your program highlight videos. Along with that, you have the training schedules, right? So in the training schedules, you can see that we are into our last session today, which is working with PDFs and using the GenAI assistant. And after this, we are going to start with our section B, which will be our subject specific sessions, which will be optional. So if you are a maths teacher, you can attend our next session, which is on 9th of July. But let's say if you are a science teacher, you can join us on 11th of July. So in this welcome kit, you will all be able to take a glimpse of what are the sessions that you need to attend and what are the sessions you will be interested in. And of course, by the end of section B also, we will have a submission project that you need to submit. So yeah, that's about the welcome kit. And I think now with that, we can start and jump on to our session for today. So Harshita, let's begin.
Yes, thank you so much, Jasmeet. It would be great if you could share my screen.
Yeah, sure.
I hope everybody can see my screen. Now, we went through the polls and saw that some of our users over here were not familiar with Acrobat. That is good for us to know, because then I can start right from the beginning, right? And start in with the login process. So first of all, please, go to any browser that you have, whether it be Google Chrome or Edge, and just open a new tab or a new window, right? Once you've opened a new tab or a new window, please navigate to acrobat.adobe.com and then just go ahead. Right. What you see right now is the welcome screen. So this is a screen that is currently greeting you in the process. Now here, please click on sign in to log into your account. In the email address, you can log in with your registered email ID, or if you want to, you can also log in with any of your other email IDs, for example, your Google ID, or if you have a Facebook ID. Let me just go ahead and log in with my email. Now, while it's taking me through the login process, after this, it will open in the home page of what we call as Acrobat Web. Currently loading through the process. Yes. So as you can see here, this is the Acrobat Web home screen, and you have your the banner that greets you with a hi and your name, and it gives you an idea of what kind of account that you have. And here you can see all the different tools that are available to you in this particular section. And if you scroll down, you will also be able to see the different files that you have available already on your Adobe Cloud Storage. But what if I want to view a file that is new, right? What if this is a new account and I don't have any previous files on it? So here I will also walk you through the process of how to upload a file. Please click on Upload Files in the bottom right. Clicking on this will open up a dialog box, and here you can navigate and choose any documents that you want to upload and work on. So for now I would like to open this particular document. So let me just click on this and then click on open. As you can see here in the top right, it is currently in the process of uploading your document. Once the document is uploaded, you can see that it opens in what we call as, it opens in Acrobat, and you can read it over here, and there are many different tools that are available for you. I will walk you through the different processes. So first of all, you can use the scroll over here to navigate into a different page of the document, go down, go up. You can also use the arrow keys to do this if you are on from your laptop or the touchpad. And if you want to go on a particular page, you can click on the 4 different boxes icon over here, and you can go on a specific page that you would like. For example, if I want to go to page 5, I can just click it over here and then close this. If I want to zoom in to the document, I can click on the magnifying plus icon over here. That will let me zoom into the document. And similarly, I can zoom out by clicking on the minus sign in the magnifying glass. Apart from this, we also have a bunch of different reading modes available. For example, currently this is a single page view, but if I want to read couple of pages together and read it in a more book-like format, I can use a 2-page view. I can also go back to the, I can turn it into a dark mode if I want to, have less stress on my eyes and give me less of a reading problem. Then I can use this particular functionality. And if this is not enough, and if you want to turn even the background of the document into dark mode, then you can just click on dark page theme over here, and this will change the document into a more grayscale feature so that it is easier to read. These were what we call as a different reading modes and the different zoom in and zoom out features. Now there are also a bunch of different tools that are available to you. For example, if I want to highlight a particular section, I can click on the highlight tool over here, and that particular section is highlighted. If I want to make notes, I can just click on highlight over here. And then if I want to go back and see where these highlights were, I can just click on this particular icon over here and then go to my highlighted section. So it will navigate me back to where I had added those highlights. Now, apart from the highlight feature, you can also draw on a particular file format. So if you want to write something, for example, the date that you want to cover on, you can just write it over here, which is like 7/4, and you can also erase these with an eraser, so that it is not hampering any, or if you've made any mistake, then it is not something that is irreversible. So these are the main tools that are generally available for users, and please feel free to explore the different kinds of functions that you have and see how they work for you. We are also going to be talking about the AI assistant. So we can use, as you can see, there is a large CTA on the top which says AI assistant. There are also other areas where you can invoke the assistant from, for example, the side panel icon over here, and this can be very useful for making this entire process a lot more interactive. So before I start working with the document, let's see a video that gives us a quick introduction into the AI assistant. Now that we've had an introduction with the AI assistant, you can essentially think of it as your own digital assistant, right? It can generate summaries, it can give you insights from long form documents, answer questions, and so it's almost like having a something like a Siri or an Alexa which is dedicated for your teaching needs. Now, one of the use cases that we want to explore with this is that how can you use the AI assistant to prepare a set of questions, right? To prepare maybe questions for a multi-choice test or for a question paper. So, let me walk you through that process. Great. Now, here I am again on my Acrobat web home screen, and I will open a file which is currently, the chapter of a class 7 science paper, science textbook. As you can see, this particular textbook has opened in the has opened in Acrobat. Yes, and now I will click on the AI assistant. When I click on the AI assistant, it generates an overview that gives you a very short summary of what this document is talking about, and it gives you some questions that you can perhaps get quick answers to. For example, what is the process of anaerobic respiration over here, or give me the 5 most important points list on this in this case. Now, for this particular workflow, I essentially want to create a list of questions, right? So, let me type in the chat box that prepare a list of 10 multiple choice questions with answers from this document. So, it will take some time to generate the response and process through the entire file, and then you will see that it has generated a particular set of questions. It has given you what are the different organisms, it has given you 10 questions along with the particular answers. Right now it has only given me the first answer. So, let me just change the prompt. Again, depending on what you have prompted, it will give you the answer. So, prepare a list of multiple choice questions, yes, 10 choice questions. It is currently going to process the file and see. Now you see that it has given you a particular question along with the different answers. So, it has given you different options of what are that you can give as a part of your test. And if you want to ask it what the right answers are also to these questions, you can ask it, give me the correct answers to the above questions. And here you have it, it has given you the correct answers along with the questions. Now, what you can do from over here is that you can select this particular option called copy, and you can copy this entire set of questions and answers, take it to a Word document and just paste it. So, it has now pasted the questions and answers. This is what we would do for a multiple choice question. Now, what if I want to find out the questions or prepare a list of questions that are short answer questions? In that case, I will ask create 5 short answer questions, 20 to 50 words for a test. It will take a couple of seconds and generate a response. So, as you can see here, it has given you the list of questions that you can use for your short answer questions. I can then again go back to my Word document and paste it. Lastly, I can also ask it to give me the answers to these particular questions. So again, give me the answers to the previous set of questions. As you can see, it has given you short answers to those particular set of questions. If I had wanted to ask it for long answers, I could also ask it for longer answers. So I can ask it to, can you expand on these answers? And here you have it. These are slightly longer answers that it has particularly shared with you. Now you can either copy a particular section like I had shared before, or you can copy a particular, or you can copy the entire chat, right. So if you go to the option over here and ask to copy the entire full chat history, you can just copy it and then you can paste it in the Word doc. I will just go to a fresh page and paste it. So the entire chat, all the different questions, whether it be multiple choice or long form questions, all of it will be pasted in the chat and you can have it for your record. So yes, this was the first workflow that we wanted to talk about. I hope this can help our teachers, in efficiently creating quizzes and assessments. And please feel free to ask any questions you have or share any insights in the YouTube chat.
Thank you so much, Harshita. That was really, really insightful, I think. And with that, I think a lot of our teachers might be getting very excited about what they want to see and how they want to explore this tool, I would say. And with that, I think we'll move on to the next part for today, which is going to be preparing questions for our classroom. So what we're trying to do now is in the next part that instead of, let's say, analyzing the entire chapter, if we want to work with just only a specific section in the document, we can actually do that as well and leverage the AI assistant to that as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open an English textbook on my device, and once I've done that, I will actually go through a poem, and in that poem I'm going to use the AI assistant in different ways so that I can sort of create contextual questions or any kind of questions that I wish to through that. So let's take a look at my screen, please. I'm just going to present my screen. As you all can see, there's this chapter that I have opened up for the road not taken already. And as you can all see that Harshita did mention that we could select the entire text or we could select a part of it and we could ask certain questions. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just select. So in this particular this entire document, you can see that there are more questions and there's a chapter. That's how our NCERT chapters usually get downloaded, right? So when I scroll through, the second part of this document is my poem, which is The Road Not Taken. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to select the poem and I'm going to ask a couple of questions from the AI assistant and ask it to help me with the help of to generate some basic questions, right? So what I'm going to do is over here, I'm just going to select this entire poem. And now what I'm going to do is click on Ask the AI Assistant. And I'm going to ask, suggest a few thought-provoking questions for a class discussion based on this poem. That's what I'm going to ask. So let's just type that over here. So as you can all see that I am typing in my question in here, but you could also like pick up just one text or one stanza and sort of work on it as well. And you could then ask the AI assistant those specific questions too. Now I have typed in my question and I have selected the text. So what I'm going to do is click on this button and ask the AI to generate responses for me. The AI will then analyze specific themes in the poem, generating a list of classroom discussion questions tailored to that particular piece of literature. Now, as you can see, it has already generated some of these over here. So there's the first question that says, what do you think the poet means by the road less traveled by? How does this relate to making choices in life? So you can see, as an English teacher, I have full faith on the AI to generate these questions that I can start asking in the classroom, and these questions also will help me with the entire context of whatever the poem I have picked up, and how these questions can lead to like a very specific discussion in the classroom as well. So it did come up with about 10 questions, I believe. And again, if I want to maybe just have a specific part or ask it to analyze a specific stanza, I can also do that. So for example, let's say now I just have to maybe analyze this last stanza, which is this one. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in the wood and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. So actually I'm just going to select this one. Sorry about that. It's taking some time to, yeah. Now I'm going to ask the assistant, can you analyze this part for me? Or I could have asked, could you give me a brief summary of what the poet means here? Or another question, any question that comes to my mind that sort of helps me understand what is this poem about. Now, as you can see, in this part, it has already given me a very, very nice answer that talks about the speakers reflect on the decision that they have made in the past. They describe standing at a point where two roads diverged, etc. And as you can see, it sort of gives me a complete paragraph. Now you can take a moment to sort of review whatever is in here, and if you want, again, as I said, you could choose a different text, you could choose different questions, and you can modify them to better suit your students' needs, or even use them as an inspiration to spark their own ideas in the classroom. Now this kind of a targeted approach also allows you to focus on specific elements of a text while you are also benefiting from the AI's ability to generate insightful questions that can foster meaningful, I would say, meaningful classroom discussions. And what is better than a meaningful classroom discussion, right? We always sort of crave for these discussions in the class. We always crave for our students' attention, and we want them to be fully engaged and have these discussions with us, because as much as we are prepared for a lesson to deliver, we would also want our students to be equally giving us that opportunity of asking those questions, asking those and having those meaningful conversations inside the classroom, right? So yeah, that is what your AI assistant does. And we just took two examples of one asking a question about maybe giving me 5 or 10 facts about the poem, and then another one in which I said that I want a what do you mean by this particular stanza or this particular paragraph, and it sort of analyzed it for me and gave me a beautiful result. So that's what the AI assistant is all about. We are now going to watch another video that will help you to understand the tool better, and that will also give you a glimpse of the entire process. So let's have the video, please.
Hi everyone, today we will see how we can develop a study guide for a book we read in class. Firstly, I'll upload the PDF file of the book into Adobe Acrobat Web. Clicking on the AI Assistant tool on the home page will give me the option to select my file and upload it. In this case, the file is Robinson Crusoe, so I will go ahead and click on Open. Now, after uploading, the Adobe Acrobat will open the file and start processing it. Creating a study guide from scratch can take a long time, But with the help of the new AI assistant and Acrobat, I can create a draft in just a few minutes. The AI assistant provides an overview and suggests a few questions that I can explore. However, this time I'm working on drafting that study guide. So I will ask the AI assistant to create one for this material. It responds with a draft that includes an outline with key information such as the author, plot summary, characters, themes, and more. This is a great starting point, and I can even click on the references to see the sources in the book. I can easily copy the study guide into another document and continue to refine it. The new AI assistant in Acrobat is an amazing resource for education, and it helps create materials faster for class so that educators can spend more time focusing on their students. Thank you.
Well, that was our video about how to use the GenAI assistant. So anybody who has joined us late, I hope they got a clear picture of how they can use that. And with that, I would like to share my screen once again because we have a question for you all. And with the help of this question, we will be able to guide you better with the next set of our training for today, which is going to be more focused on how you can create quizzes, tests for your classes, right? So I want you all, whoever has joined us, to scan this QR code and give us the response of how often do you need to create tests, quizzes for your classroom. So how often do you need to create a quiz or a test for your class? That's something that we want to ask you today. And as I said, you could scan the QR code and you could give us a response to this so that we know how often you all create quizzes in your classroom, because I remember, as for me, when I was teaching, I used to take weekly quizzes so that I could understand a lot of my student knowledge, right? So I would like to understand from our audiences today, from our educators who are joining us from across all these 8 states, that how often do you create quizzes or tests for your classroom, so that we can help you with how you can create these quizzes, how you can do these test creations with the help of AI assistant as well. So I can see there are some answers coming up now. Thank you so much for sharing these answers. I can see a lot of people do it multiple times a week, and then a few do it once a week, twice a month, or once a month, depending on, I'm sure, how their schedules are. So we are still waiting for you all to answer us on this particular QR code by scanning this Mentimeter QR code. And yeah, then we'll proceed further, and we'll also delve and dig deep into how you can create a quiz or a test for your classroom using the AI assistant as well. So I think with that, Harshita, we are very clear that our teachers use this tool and they can benefit from this tool multiple times a week, because they create these questions, papers multiple times a week, or maybe twice a month, or at least once a month for sure. So let's, I think, just dig deep into how they can use the GenAI assistant tool inside their classroom also to create these questions using the AI tool, right? So let's take a look at Harshita's screen now so that she can present you with an answer to how you can do this.
Thank you, Jasmeet, and thank you everyone for participating in the poll. That was very useful for us to understand how often you would encounter this workflow. So as I had shared previously in the session, right, you can essentially use the AI assistant to go ahead and ask it to create questions for a particular test. And I'm just going to reopen the file that I previously had and then go to the AI assistant again, and here you can see the questions that I had asked earlier, right? The different questions, give me prepare a list of 10 multiple choice questions and the answers to the particular AI assistant. So, the AI assistant, if you choose to, then it will save your particular chat history so that you can use this particular you can refer to these questions again, to this chat again, and then if you need to copy them, then you can just copy it from over here and take them to Word or any other place where you can then review and edit those files. So, this I think would be really helpful for our teachers. Going back, now a different kind of workflow that I wanted to talk about as well during this session, right, is that sometimes you might be going through your course content and would want to discuss a new topic or an additional topic in your class that is not necessarily in the syllabus, but would still be relevant to the course. Now, this could be a ongoing topic or something that is, very much in the news right now. So, here I want to take the time and introduce the tool Generative Summary and how it can help you, as it says, that as the name says, create a summary for you for any new document that you have and how you can then use it to review things quickly. So, what I am going to do right now is basically try out the Generative Summary. I will click on try it now. And then from my computer, right, I will add a file. So, here I have a file which talks about, solar energy and what India is doing in the renewable energy sector. And as everybody knows, this is incredibly important in today's environment, very, very relevant to what our students are learning. So, let me just open this particular file. As you can see, it is currently going to take a minute to upload this and process the file as such. This is a pretty important topic, and this is just a file that I have found, again not necessarily in my syllabus, but then you have the Generative Summary who can then go through this file, which is a new file that you have perhaps not read before. It is around 7 pages, and then what it does it as such generates a section wise summary for this particular file. So, first you have the overview. Next, it takes you to the next section. You can see it gives you a summary of what India's role in the solar, symphony is. It gives you all the necessary facts that you have over here. And then, you can go on these one by one to get a quick overview of a new document or a new topic, and that will help you create a new understanding, and then you would be able to discuss it with the students in your class. I think this would be very helpful for our educators, because this will again allow them to review any kind of new topic, and of course, because the AI assistant is limited to the document, you can be assured that whatever information that it is giving you is correct. And then let me go back to this. So, yes, this is also a different way in which you can use the Generative Summary tool and see how you can create a new review a new document. All right. Now, this time for our next workflow, I want to try something different and see how we can work with multiple files, right? I'm sure everybody over here at some point would need to create a syllabus for their respective subjects. Now, this could be at the beginning of the year or at any other time, but let us see how Acrobat AI Assistant could help us with this. So, what I will do is that I will click on the prompt over here, which is the which says select files on the AI Assistant, and then I will start gathering the different chapters, the relevant chapters of the particular subject into the AI Assistant. This way you can easily select multiple files at once and you can add them to your Acrobat web. Now as it uploads, it will slowly give you the chance to, here we go, it is going to open. Now once your chapters are in, as you can see, the AI assistant has been activated automatically. So it is going through the different files and processing them. These are like for this particular subject, geography, there were 5 different chapters, so I have added only 5 files. But if your subject has more chapters, you can add up to 10 different documents and it will and the process will still work the same. Going ahead, currently I have chapter 1 open over here, but still the other files are also processing in the background.
So Harshita, as you mentioned, this is, I think, going to be very, very interesting to see and note of how we can actually collaborate and do multi-docs, right? Because a lot of times we have so many documents that you keep on sort of exploring and you want to actually collaborate amongst documents as well and maybe make out information from all of these documents together, and teachers struggle with that a lot. And I have personally felt as an educator, this is a problem that comes across very, very common. So I think this is something that is going to be a game changer for teachers and is going to help them a lot with their own, I would say, when they are operating on multi-docs, right?
Yes, this will really be very helpful in that particular case. And while we are going to take the example of creating the syllabus, right, there are also other places where you might need to use multiple documents at the same time. This could be whether you are researching on a particular topic or other areas. So as you can see here, we have had 4 of the files were added, and now I can just add my prompt, which can say creating a syllabus for grade 8 geography. Sorry about that. With learning objectives and key topics. So it is now going to go through all these different files that were added and go ahead and try to generate a syllabus for us.
Wow, that's really interesting to watch, because I think when we are trying to do this activity in the beginning of the year, it sort of takes us a lot of effort to create all of these things, right? So with this, I think it is going to actually help the teachers a lot, help them actually make sure that we are combining our files and utilizing this particular resource, this particular AI assistant, and creating our files. So I think there's something that you need to refresh, so that's all right, you can just probably just start doing that. But meanwhile, I think I'd also like my teachers to just let them know that we are on our 10th program, 10th session for today, and in this final session we are going to end our section A. Our section B starts from 7th of July, which is going to be our subject specific sessions. So till now, all the sessions that you attended were mandatory, were the sessions in which we explore all subjects and all subject areas and all facets. But in our coming sessions, which is our section B, we are going to explore our subject specific areas, right? So in our subject specific areas, we'll have one session of how to teach maths with Adobe Express, how to do English with Adobe Express, how to teach vocational subjects with Adobe Express, how to teach languages, etc. So these are all the upcoming sessions that we are going to start. And teachers, hold on, because today we are also going to give you the project for our section A. Remember, we have been telling you that we are going to give you a project at the end of our section A, which is something that is mandatory for all of you to submit. So I'm going to display that for you all in a while so that you all can take a look at what the project for section A is and how you can make the submissions. And then of course we'll have another project for section B, but that's again something we'll do probably by the end of July. But right now, today I'm going to share the first project, which is the project for section A, with all of you, so that you please make sure that you note down, and we'll also actually update the same on our web page, on the welcome kit web page that we had shared with you, so that you can have that project handy and you can complete that project in a stipulated time period. We'll also share by when you need to do the project submissions, and yeah, that's about it. Over to you, Harshita. Do we have our summary ready?
Yes, we do. So earlier we had faced a slight internet connection issue, but that's been solved now. Thank you so much, Jasmeet, for walking us through the process for the next half of the course. As you can see over here, I had added 5 files and asked the AI assistant, given it a prompt, to create a syllabus for grade 8 geography with learning objectives and key topics. So it has generated an answer, as you can see, with the different learning objectives. It's given me a lot of different learning objectives. So you can go ahead and check this and align this with your particular workflow. And then it has also given me the key topics that need to be covered along with it. So it is a pretty long answer, and you can see the different sections over here, right? There are numbers over here that are 1, 2, 3. Now they correspond to the different sections in this particular text. For example, if I click on the number 3, right, it will take me to the particular file, for example, chapter 2, and the section that covers this particular area, which different population types and climates and distribution over here. So what this essentially does is that gives you the source from where it has picked up this particular answer or this particular part of the answer from the different documents that you have shared, and you can very easily use this to navigate to any section if you are confused or you want to understand where the particular answer or the recommendation from the AI assistant is coming from. Again, I can just copy this particular answer from over here and then paste it onto a Word doc. So it will give me a starting point for my syllabus with the particular content, and then I can just start reviewing this and adding to this and making things easier over here. So like I said, this would give us a very nice starting point for creating our syllabus. I hope that was helpful. And this is by harnessing the power of AI, you can just very easily streamline the syllabus creation process. This will leave you more time to focus on your lesson planning and your instructional strategies. So it's a nice, simple, efficient way to kickstart your syllabus creation process.
So I think all the educators, they have learned this creating syllabus process with the help of Acrobat AI. And ma'am, I would like to ask you, can we also create the interactive study guides?
Of course, yeah, and I was coming to that only, that we can create a lot of interactive study guides using Acrobat AI Assistant, and I'm going to show you actually right away how do we do that. I was actually pulling up a very nice chapter from which I can create that guide. So let's just take a look at my screen now so that we can actually I can give you a walkthrough of the study guide as well, and you all can see how we can create that. So as you can see on my screen, I have opened up a chapter that says climate, and it's a geography chapter, grade 9th, right? So what I'm going to do is, with the help of this particular chapter, I'm going to actually create like a study guide. I'm going to actually put out facts and information from this chapter, and let's very quickly see how do I do that. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to click on this AI assistant over here. And my first question that I'm going to ask is that I really want to extract some key facts in this particular chapter about climate. So I'm just going to type that and I'm just going to say type in here extract key facts about climate from this chapter. And once I do that and I press enter, it's going to do its magic and start creating and extracting some key facts about the climate from this chapter. And Tanvi, you know what, it's not only just limited to this, but I could ask it generate 5 multiple choice questions, generate 2 mark questions, or generate short answer questions, generate long answer questions. And it is going to gather the information, work on this particular chapter and create those facts and create those questions also for me. So as you can see, now I have typed in and it has given me about, I think, 10 to 12 key facts. And as you can see, if I scroll through these key facts, I could include them as a summary. I could tell my students, or I could put them on Adobe Express on any template of climate or any geography template or any other template that I really like. And I could just show this to my students as an example of that these are the key facts that we are going to learn today, and this is how you can actually extract the key facts. So now you can see it also gives us from which page or which area it has extracted this key fact. So you can see the AI will quickly analyze the content and will present you with that concise list of essential information. Now we are also going to explore Adobe Express now and how I can use this on Adobe Express. Actually, I'm going to integrate both of these, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, can you pull out, or I'll just say please pull out 10 vocabulary words maybe from this chapter. Now as I type this, it is going to generate a response for me in which it will pull out 10 responses or 10 vocab words from this entire chapter, and I could actually use these vocab words and put them in the Adobe Express. I have Adobe Express opened with me as always, and we are going to go to Adobe Express now to explore how I can create and amalgamate both of these together. Now in here, in my search everything, I'm going to look for vocabulary templates. Let's just type simply that and see if something comes up. If not, then I could also search for flashcard templates, or I could also search for more templates that are similar. Now as you can see, it has given me some vocabulary worksheets, and now whichever worksheet I like the best from here, I could just actually click on that. I think this one looks pretty well because it has the name of whatever the word is. Also it has a small area where I can describe what the word meaning is. So I could actually just pull out this worksheet, and I'm going to increase the size of this so that you all can see how I edit this worksheet now. So my first vocab word, these are my 10 vocab words. I'm actually just going to copy paste these words from here. I'm doing a Control C and I'm putting it here as a Control V. So let me just very quickly do that. And now you see all my 10 words are here. Now my first word is landforms. So I'm going to Control X, which is cut this word and paste it over here. And you can see then in here I could leave this space blank and I could ask my students to sort of fill up this vocabulary worksheet. Similarly, I'm going to pick up the second word and I'm going to paste it here in place of this simile. I think this was an English worksheet and it talked about that. So which is why you can see. Now similarly, I can keep picking up these words from here where I've just pasted them, and I could just copy paste them to my entire worksheet. And once I have done that, you know what, by the end of it, I will have a worksheet that will have 9 vocab words, I think. Yeah, there are about 9 vocab words. So this is how I can actually customize the entire experience, and this is how I could amalgamate the two, and I could have these two sort of brought in. And as you can see, we have been using Adobe Express for all our sessions. So I wanted really our teachers to explore the possibility of bringing Adobe Express in here as well. And this worked out really well because we can now see that I have put in almost all these words in here. And once I have done that, you could, as I said, you could actually put in what the landform means, and you could have that statement over here Or if you want your students to actually explore that on their own, you could just leave these as blank spaces. And remember, just like last time when our teachers keep asking us, how do we share these worksheets with our students? How do we make sure that our students are submitting their worksheets with us? Well, that's pretty easy on Express. What you have to do is you have to just simply adjust your worksheet. Now, this is my worksheet. If I want, I can have like a simple one sentence heading to this, which says, let's say this one. I'm going to say and type in vocab worksheet. And I can type in the subject as well, so that the students are aware where I picked these vocab words from. But once I've done that, what I'll be able to do is I can just increase the size, decrease the size. You all know the drill. You all know how we have been doing this. You can just place it wherever you want to on your sheet. And as you can see, it's sort of overlapping. So what I could also do is I could just have the content and I could pull out, because as you can see, the last part is something that I've not used at all. So I could just select this and I could say delete. So now it empties up a lot of my space, and I could select this and I could move it a little lower in my worksheet. Now I'm just going to reduce the size so that you can see how it easily fits in. And now I'm going to put up my heading over here. And as you can see on my sheet, I have all these 6 vocab words where I have asked my students to sort of work on these vocabulary words as and when they get time and submit the sheet to me. But how do they submit or how do they share it with me? Of course, there's an option for them. They could either download these sheets and share it to me over an email. So that's something that they can do. So download and then download as a PNG or a JPG or a PDF and submit it. Or they could also click on the share button and they could click on publish to web and they could publish their vocab worksheets over here. And once they have done that, they are able to publish the link, generate a link and share it with me. So that's how easy it is, Tanvi.
That's very easy, ma'am. That's quick, and that's, I think, so many variations are there. One can use any kind of worksheet and create their own titles and modify them as per their requirement.
Absolutely. So as you saw, I just took like less than, I think, 5 minutes to create this worksheet. And I very simply just integrated both these elements where I asked my Acrobat assistant to pull out 10 vocab words. Once they were out, I actually just copy pasted them, put them in my, I would say my Adobe Express page that I was creating. And that's how I created a vocab sheet. Now, Tanvi, I would also like to share one more thing with you. We have been talking about Adobe Acrobat and we have been talking about the AI assistant on that. But do you know that we can also edit our files on Adobe Express?
Okay, can we?
Yes, and that's very easy to do, and we can actually do multiple things with PDF files on Adobe Express. I'm going to actually take the teachers through this next part very quickly in the next 5 minutes. And for that, what I'll do is I'll click on the plus button, go to quick actions and then just type PDF. Once I type PDF, there are 3 options that come in. One is convert from a PDF. A lot of times we have a PDF and we want to convert it to an Excel. We want to convert it to a Word, right? So you can use this feature, convert from PDF, and we could upload our file and say I want to convert it from a PDF to maybe a Word doc. So I have a file here, which is, let's say this one, Generative AI, or maybe the road not taken. I could just simply open this and it'll ask me, what do you want to convert it into? So I'm just going to select this and I'm going to say, I want it as a Word doc, a PNG, JPG, and that's as simple as that. Once I click on Word doc, I click on download button, the file gets downloaded for me in a Word format. How quick and easy is that, Tanvi?
That was done in seconds, so that's pretty quick.
Yeah. And similarly, a lot of times we have files that we want to convert from a Word doc or from a presentation to a PDF. So we could do that as well by saying convert to PDF. So we could pick up our Excel file or Word file or PowerPoint presentations and we could say that I want to convert it to a PDF. So you could also do that in the similar manner. You can pick up and then you can just convert it to any file to a PDF. And the last one, which is very interesting one as well, and a lot of my teachers love it, is editing a PDF. A lot of educators who use editing PDF on Adobe Express love this feature because then they are able to edit the PDFs that they have on their devices.
Absolutely, because generally we are unable to edit our PDFs, and if this is the case in Adobe Express, then I think most of the educators would love to use it.
Yeah, and I'm going to show you how to do that very, very quickly. So as you can see, I selected a file which is about creating with AI text to image prompts on Adobe Express, and this is a file that has some text. It also has images, you see, and it also has, if you keep scrolling down, it has all these various elements in here. Now let's say as an educator, I want to change the heading of this particular file, and you can see the cursor is already here starting to do its job. So I can just simply say, I don't want this, but I want to write something else. So I'm just going to say creating. I have to just click on allow, and now I'm going to say, I'm just going to type create generative AI pictures with Adobe Express. Can you see how easy it was? I have to just click on this cursor and it shows up, and I start editing my PDFs, and that's how it is done. On the left, you can also see there are options for me to choose from formatting the text to a different, I would say any different font. There are options for me to increase or decrease the size. There are options for me to change the color as well. And there are other options that are mentioned here as well. If you want to add more content, there's an option for you to click on add text, and you could add more text, and you could click wherever you want to add the text. Similarly, if you want to add an image, you could also do that, and you could select an image. Also, I was talking about how you could delete some things in this, right? So let's say if I don't want this image, I can simply click on it, and I could click on delete here, or I could cut it and paste it somewhere else, or even copy it and paste it somewhere else. Also in here you can see there are these 3-4 options also available within the PDF, which allows you to add comments in it. For example, if you are working on this PDF with another teacher, you could add comments in it and you could share it back. You can also highlight certain text. So whatever text you have highlighted, you could highlight it with a specific color. You can also mark up or draw a freehand area. For example, if I say draw a freehand, I want to highlight this particular part, I could just draw a freehand and I could say that this is what I want to focus upon. So these are all the features that are available, and as you can see on the right as well, I have an option that says I could view all the comments that are in here, and then there's another button that says go to a specific page using thumbnail images. So when I have multiple pages, I can use this thumbnail option to go to another page and actually just work upon another page altogether at once on this space.
This is so impressive, ma'am, and we can do a lot with the PDFs. Generally, this is a hurdle which teachers face, and if Adobe Express is helping the teachers with this particular hurdle, I think it's going to be amazing. So we can save the PDF, and then can we also download this version, the edited version?
Of course, we can do that. Okay. Once you have worked on this file, you're also allowed to download it. So as you can see on my screen, the top right says download, right? So when I click on this download button, it allows me to download the edited file, and this file will come into my device, get saved on the download folder, and that's how simple this becomes.
That is so great, ma'am. We have learned a lot in this particular program, and we have learned how to use the Acrobat AI assistant, and this is so helpful and useful to all the educators. And ma'am, of course, the teachers who are there with us, they also responded to the questions that you asked. They are submitting their responses throughout our program. So is there any way that you want to tell them that how can they submit their submissions?
Yeah, sure. So teachers actually can submit their creations to us. Actually, first I'd like to take them through what they have to do in order to submit their creations and what is it that they are required to create. So allow me some time while I pull that up. Meanwhile, if you could just talk to, if I think we could present the Padlet QR code, that would be amazing, because we have been getting a lot of amazing answers. So if we can have the Padlet QR code in which the teachers can keep submitting whatever they are creating to us, that would be absolutely amazing. Meanwhile, I'll just pull up the resource in which the teachers can, how teachers can basically, using the NCERT Pilot Welcome Kit, go to that page and then of course upload their creations or upload their Project 1 submissions with us. So as you can see on my screen now, I have opened the pilot training program, the same web page that you all have access to. Now in this web page, when I scroll down, I see my schedule, I see all the other details about my Pilot Creativity Skills program. And then once you scroll right at the bottom after the login process, you will now see that we have updated this page with Project A. Now Project A is mentioned over here. As you can all see, you can choose any one of these projects and submit to us. So the projects are: design a poster on an infographic on these particular topics, design a poster on these topics, which is Annual Day, Sports Day, World Environment Day, Pi Day, etc. You can also create your own digital portfolio to talk about yourself and your achievements. You can create an infographic on the importance of music and arts throughout history. You can create an animation video on English, Hindi, poem, or a poem in any regional language. Now you all see that all these projects are actually the projects that focus upon whatever we have covered in the last 8-9 sessions, right? And including today's session as well. So maybe if you want to create a vocab worksheet, you can also do that. But these are the projects that we would wish you all to submit. But how do you submit to us? So you click on this Project A submission form. Once you click on this form, it asks you to start it right away from here. And as you can see, it mentions the last date as well. So the last date is 12th July, 6 p.m. That's the time by which you have to submit your project submissions. When you click on the Start Now button, it asks you to type in your participant name. So for example, if I have to type in this form, I type in my name. I also type in my school. In this case, I'm just going to say Adobe. And I type in my registered email ID. Once I have typed all of these things, I also select then my state, which is Delhi, let's say, and then my school city. Let's say I say Delhi again, and then my district. So again, if it is East Delhi, West Delhi, you could like just play around and put in all these details. You all know how to do this. And then provide information about the classes you teach. So here you will select, let's say I teach 6th to 8th grade, and then the last final thing, which is Project A link. Now I request you all to share the to share these links with us very, very carefully, because we should be able to open whatever you are sharing with us. So you remember, I just show you the process of sharing whatever you are creating, right? So you have to click on the share button, you have to change the permissions to anyone with the link can see, and you have to copy paste that link and click and actually just paste it here. The other way is you can also publish to web and paste the copied URL link here. So I'm just going to do that and help you understand how we'll be able to submit our creations. So let's say I'm just going to pull up one of the creations that I did recently, and let's say that is my submission for Project A. So I'm just going to pull this vocab dictionary over here. Now let's say this is my vocab sheet that I want to submit as Project A submission. Number one, I will click on the share button and I will say anyone with the link can access, and then I can copy this link and paste it. Or I would publish to web, and then after publishing the link that generates, I'm going to copy that link, and you will be able to see that you can copy this very easily, and then you can go back to your Project A submission and just paste it here. Once you have done this, you can click on the submit button and your response would be submitted. Well, guess I'm the first one to submit my creations, so we don't want that. I want all my teachers also to submit their creations, all the exact projects that we have asked you to create. I'm going to also again very quickly just take you through the welcome kit and see where you will find this. So right at the bottom, when you scroll right at the last, you will see project A. You can choose any one. So you have to choose one projects from here and design any one of these things. Once you have designed any one of these things, you click on project A submission form and you fill in the form, this form that comes up. Once you fill up the form, you click on the submit button, your projects are done. The last date for submission of project A is 12th of July 2024, Friday 6 p.m. So make sure you get some time in the next coming days and you submit your creations with us. And that's everything I had to share with you all, Tanvi.
Absolutely, ma'am. So the last date you have already announced, 12th of July, for submitting all the projects. I'm sure you are going to get a lot of projects from the teachers belonging to different states, and they'll be submitting their creative projects and you'll be very impressed.
Yeah.
So with this, I just want to thank you, ma'am, for being with us today, both of you. Thank you so much, Ms. Jasmeet Kang and Ms. Harshita Jha, for being with us today. And this entire interaction was not just interactive, but fruitful as well. We have learned a lot of things today, be it creating the syllabus, creating the interactive study guides, or, just knowing that one can easily use the Acrobat AI assistant and get the work done in just a few seconds. So the teachers, the teacher educators, the school leaders, they are going to use these worksheets, and for their children, it's going to be really helpful and quick as well. So with this, just want to share a QR code, and we would like to know that what do you think about this particular session. We would like to have your feedback as well. Please let us know that what you feel. Did you like it? Is there anything that you think we need to improve upon? Is there anything that you did not like, or your suggestions, your advices? That's more than welcome. Please scan this QR code and submit your responses. And let me just tell you that the next session is going to be on 9th of July, that is next Tuesday. And like ma'am has already announced, Jasmeet ma'am has already announced that the first part of this mandatory session is over with today's session, and the next part we are going to come back on 9th of July, and the topic of discussion is going to be Teach Maths with Adobe Express. So be ready with your questions, and I think Jasmeet ma'am needs to say something.
Yeah, sure. So I was just checking the YouTube live questions that come to us, and I saw one of the questions in which teachers are asking if they need to submit all these projects that they see. So teachers, I would like to again repeat myself that you don't need to submit all the projects, but as you can see on my screen, it says here that choose any one of the projects and submit those. And apart from this, what you need to do is, once you have selected the project that you want to do, you have to just share your projects through the project A submission sheet. So I'm just going to again scroll right at the top of this sheet so that you know which sheet I'm talking about. This particular web page is included in your welcome kit. Now remember, you all had registered with us and the registrations have already closed. 30th was the last day for the registration. So everybody who has registered with us and received the welcome kit, they would have received this particular email in which they have this web page link. In this web page, when they click, they will be able to see the schedule, and along with the schedule, they will be able to see and look at the sign-in process and what this particular session is about, and what and how they can basically sign into Adobe Express. So you can see this. And after they are done with these sign-in steps, because sign-in is an important part of creating anything on Adobe Express. Unless you don't sign into your accounts, you will not be able to create anything. So we request you all to sign into Adobe Express using your email IDs and passwords. The email IDs and passwords you registered with us, and then at the bottom you will see Project A, where you can choose any one of these projects, and you can also see that these are the very simple projects that we have already created in our previous trainings. So you can just you can just pick any one of these projects and then share your projects through the Project A submission sheet. We are going to review these projects, which is why we request you to make sure that when you are submitting the project, you are submitting us with all these steps. The steps are mentioned here in this form, where you see at the last, 8th question talks about click on share, change the permission rights to anyone with the link, and then copy the link, and then also you can publish to web and copy paste that link over here and then submit. So people who are saying, how do we submit any one of these projects, again in the chat box, I would say that you have to submit the projects by going to this welcome kit page, which is the web page. You click on the project A submission form, you go to this particular form which talks about all your details that you have to mention for your project A submissions. And then once your details are filled in, the last answer is you type in the URL that you have generated through Adobe Express, which will be either on an infographic or a graphic, anything that you have selected. And once you type in, copy paste that URL, you can submit, and that's how you will be able to submit your creations. You remember we also had a Padlet over here, the Padlet code that we had shared with you. I'll actually just edit one of these creations and add my, so that's the Padlet code you're all seeing. I'm actually going to add the link of this particular submission form on the Padlet as well, so that you can see. So you can allow us some time while we get back to you on this. But yeah, this is how you need to submit your creations to us. And once you have submitted, you can just attend any of the sessions from the Project B list, any sessions that are relevant to you. And yeah, we can't wait to see you all in the section B.
Absolutely. All the teachers who have joined us with section A, they are definitely going to attend section B as well, because they have found this section A extremely exciting. And with this, ma'am, I would like to ask something that, we easily saved and downloaded the edited PDF, and how many PDFs can we edit? Is there a particular number, or that's endless?
No, that's endless actually.
Okay.
So I actually go to this tool very, very often, because I have a lot of PDFs that I keep working on for different schools, for different educators. So you can actually just upload as many PDFs as you want on Adobe Express accounts, and you can edit those PDFs, edit text, edit images as per your liking, and download them as many times as you want to.
That's great. And ma'am, you used Mentimeter and asked a few questions to all our viewers. So can the teachers also use the Mentimeter?
Yeah, of course. Mentimeter is also a tool that is available. So teachers can actually just go to Google and try out that tool as well. I think it is available on Google, so you could try that as well.
Okay. So with the questions, how many options can be given? Is there a number?
No, I don't think there's a number. I'll have to actually just go back and quickly check, but I don't think there's a number. And teachers, I remember they were also asking me that can we create Padlets for our own classrooms. So of course you can do that as well. You can try out that on your end. You have to just go to Padlet, how I have created this Padlet for our session. You could also create Padlet for your classrooms and ask your students to submit Adobe Express creations on a Padlet, and then probably you can have all the Adobe Express creations on one single Padlet.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great, ma'am. And I am sure that students, teachers, they are going to enjoy this entire process. So AI Acrobat Assistant we used today in detail. Ma'am, both the experts, they have explained you all the details regarding the same. And the projects, please submit your projects by 12th of July, 6 p.m. and you have approximately 8 days. So start your creations and submit them as soon as you can. So with this, we have come to the end of our program, and we have received a lot of questions, a lot of queries from your end. Thank you so much for the responses that you have submitted. So keep on submitting your responses, because this program, we do come here on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but we'll be receiving your submissions throughout. And with this, just want to say that the future of education is definitely here, because it's dynamic, it's incredibly exciting, and it's digital as well. So with the tools like Adobe Acrobat and Acrobat AI Assistant that we just learned today, we are not just keeping up with the times, we are actually setting the pace. So together, let's embrace these innovations and transform the way we teach and learn. This is for all the educators, for all the teachers, student leaders and school leaders, teacher educators, all of you. I really hope that you enjoyed today's program. Thank you so much, and here's to a brighter, more connected future in education. Just want to thank both the experts once again. Thank you so much, Jasmeet ma'am. Thank you so much, Harshita ma'am, for being with us today. And thank you to all the viewers for being with us today. Hope to see you in section B very, very soon. That will be on 9th of July. Till then, please take care and submit your creations. We'll be waiting for them. Have a great day ahead. I'm Tanvi Khurana and I'll take a leave of you. Have a happy day. Namaskar.